running in that class. So we will have a mix, and we will endeavour to bring you the front runners in the 160 class, 200 being a slightly more powerful engine, and you will find the majority of the front runners, if not all of them, will be running the 200 engine. The number 38 going round is Thomas Potter, our 2019 Bambino champion. Had that one wrapped up by the start of round number 9 and made the overnight jump into cadets at the end of the season and handled himself more than well enough, and he finds himself now out full-time in our cadet class. Drivers come through time, and you will see as they come through just how busy the track has become with our cadet drivers. The 16, David Mack, a driver often finding himself in the top 5 last season, and finished the season just about in the top 5 as well in the championship. As we see him go down the back straight, followed by the number 50 of Lizzie Mentier, one of our most improved drivers during last season. It was a difficult between herself and Isabella Stanmore-Wilson, see which driver had improved the most. Both drivers entered the championship towards the start of the season, and then both of them found themselves running well into the top 10. I think Mentier even had a front row start in one of the wet-dry qualifying sessions that we had towards the end of the season in that number 50, and she will be certainly a driver to watch this season. The driver at the front, going over the line at the moment, is Ollie Poole. You'll notice he's got, if you're watching on the live stream, has a red background on his number. He's trialling out a mini rock kart today and will be the only one out there, so you would expect to see him at the front as we see a nose cone doing a beautiful pirouette and is collected by the marshal. So we'll keep an eye out and see if we have a which kart that is missing a nose cone. I think it's going around hairpin number 4 at the moment. I'm not sure whether that will be brought in under a technical flag or allowed to continue, but we'll see. It is. It's the number 64 coming around. The arm is up and they will pop off into the pits to see if we can get that one back very quickly and strapped on. So Ollie Poole will be out in front in the slightly more powerful mini rock kart. So we will then look back at our drivers with the blue backgrounds. Lizzie Mentier in the 50 on 200 pole at the moment. The 11 of Gracie Mitchell, or Jared Fox-Whiteley jumps up. So a number of our cadet drivers that ran towards the front last season have moved up. So championship winner Buckton moved up, and we've just seen him have an unfortunate qualifying session in Rotax. We've also had Bella Franklin and Alex Mallard move up, so leaves us in cadets with a number of drivers that ran well into the top 5 last season. The top one of those at the moment, the number 20 of Catherine Potter. So certainly ones to watch. The 20 of Catherine Potter, the 23 of Charlie Wyatt, and the number 11 of Gracie Mitchell, along with the 16 of David Mack. Those drivers, along with the 3 that we previously mentioned that have moved up, regular front runners in cadets last season. The O Plate in this will go to the leading Honda driver. Seems like we've got the 54 with the missing front bumper. That would be Cian McLeod. Let's see if we can, if he makes a return to the circuit. As we see 44 of one of the 2 Boweries, that's Max Bowery, sliding out of hairpin number 2, getting it slightly sideways. He comes under pressure on the back straight from the 77 of Sophie Pawsey. So it's Potter, Mentier, Wyatt, Fox-Whiteley, Mitchell, Mack, Corking, Stanmore-Wilson, Benson and Shields, the top 10 in the extreme class. Ollie Poole well out in front. In the much more powerful mini rock, he's got 1.5 seconds from Catherine Potter. And Potter certainly one to watch, and will certainly be in the mix towards the end of the season. And that is the 94 of Ollie Poole. As you can see there, that is certainly not a Honda engine that is strapped to the 94. of Ollie Poole, last year's O Plate winner, which went to the top 160 driver in the 2018 O Plate meeting. Will this year transfer to our 200 class. And at the moment, it is Catherine Potter on provisional pole. And what looks to be, at the moment, an all-female front row will line up alongside Lizzie Mentier, but Jared Fox-Whiteley ruins the party, moves up into third overall, which will be second on the grid for our 200. So it's Potter, Fox-Whiteley, Mentier, Wyatt, Mitchell, Max, Shields, Corking and Stanmore Wilson, although Wyatt, with a superb lap, moves himself up in the number 23 onto provisional pole position, as Ollie Poole puts in a faster lap in that mini rock, goes to a 47.5. Max Shields is followed by the 52 of Sebastian Corking and the 37 of Jack Thompson. Thompson ran a 160 for much of 2019. Finds himself with a 200 powering that number 37 kart for the O Plate meeting, as Gracie Mitchell looks to be impeded there by a car in front and has to back out of the lap. It's the 86 of Jake Bowery running in 19th, just in front of the 15 of Addison Smith. Mitchell will then go to the inside. She's followed by the 88 of Isabella Stanmore Wilson, who's just been nudged down to 11th overall by the improving Charlie Benson. Goes from 11th to 10th. So it's Potter now back at the front with a minute 20 remaining from Wyatt and Fox-Whiteley. Stanmore Wilson cuts to the inside, gets in front of Bowery. She will now try to catch up onto the back of the 11 of Gracie Mitchell and try and get herself back overall into the top 10, although we'll start 10th in class with the 94 of Ollie Poole removed from running in terms of battling for the O Plate towards the end of the day. A reminder that after qualifying we'll go into a cycle of 3 heats for each of our classes before then going into our finals. And it will be the first driver over the line to take the checkered flag in the final that will take the O Plate, and we'll be able to run the number 0 for the whole of the 2020 season here at Teesside, which will start on the 23rd of February with round number 1. Before that, though, we have one final round of the Winter Series to bring that to a close on the 26th of January at the PFI circuit. 20 seconds remaining. The start line marshal has the checkered flag in hand. We'll be ready to give that a wave, and it'll be see who can get over the line to get one final lap in. 5 seconds remaining. Looks like the 15 of Addison Smith can come over and get one more in. Charlie Wyatt, though, will take the checkered flag, and he'll be the first one over. And that will leave him second at best. Catherine Potter, though, still has to come through, and Jared Fox-Whiteley only needs to find 3/10. Mitchell finds herself down in 6th overall. Probably slightly disappointing at the moment, half a second off the pace. So it's Potter, Wyatt, Fox-Whiteley, Mentier and Mitchell. A few of those have already come over. And we just need to await Fox-Whiteley and see whether Mitchell can make one final improvement. She can't, takes the checkered flag, and unless somebody makes a big improvement, and it's going to need around about half a second for Fox-Whiteley, though, but we'll await him for coming over the line. There he does, takes the checkered flag, and it looks like it'll be Catherine Potter on the front row for heat number 1, alongside Charlie Wyatt, with Fox-Whiteley and Mentier on row 2, Mitchell and Mack row 3, Benson, Shields row 4, Corking and Potter the top 10, and that's Thomas Potter in the 38, our Bambino champion from 2019, finding himself inside the top 10 for the first time with the 200 engine strapped to that number 38, one of our, if not the youngest driver in the cadet class out there. That's the 94 of Ollie Poole coming over. He will start at the front in the number 94, but expect him to blast off into the distance with the mini rock engine on that number 94 kart. Last year, he took the O Plate here in the cadet class, running in the 160s. And he will then now let that O Plate go to somebody else. But this will be the first time that we have an O Plate for at least 4 of our classes. That will be Bambino, Junior Pro Kart, Junior Rotax and Senior Rotax.